Morning, peeps. Good morning. It's another crazy hot day outside, isn't it? Bloody hell! It must be another 35 degrees. Must be. This is unbelievable weather. It is a bit, well, not a bit. It's very, very uncomfortable at night, though, isn't it? Like, I sleep with a fan right next to my head, and that's not good, obviously. But I have to. I have to just because it's that hot. Yeah, don't know. I feel like it might be worth going forward investing in some sort of air conditioning unit. I mean, not now. Obviously, summer's going to end soon, but for the foreseeable future. All right, enough chit chat of things that aren't about boxing. Let's talk some boxing. Let's talk very quickly about Martin Bakole, Sergey Kuzmin. You guys will probably know because it was announced yesterday that Martin Bakole versus Sergey Kuzmin is no longer on. Well, to be fair, it's not been on for Sergey Kuzmin for about 4 days because of family issues. So he's not been on the card for about 4 days, and they've been trying to find a replacement. Hence why Michael Hunter has been tweeting. They couldn't find a replacement, so Martin Bakole is not on the card. That's a big blow for that card. For me, it's a big blow. I was always excited about the card, but with Martin Bakole versus Kuzmin, because this was two guys for me in and around the top 25, and I thought it was going to be a very good heavyweight fight. Now that's off it. You know, if they kept Bakole on but found someone, it would have softened the blow somewhat. But they haven't found anyone. I know they tried to reach out to Cash Ali. He's injured at the moment. They would have probably tried to reach out to people like David Price. Dave Allen said they didn't reach out to him, but he probably wouldn't have taken it anyway. Just because to fight Bakole on, what is it? It's not even 2 weeks notice anymore. What is it? 10 days notice. You're going to want big money because you're not going to be in shape. You're not going to be in shape. You're going to want big money, and you know it's on a pay-per-view portion of a card as well. So it's going to be very, very difficult to get anyone unless they get someone almost like what Carl Frampton's done, and we'll talk about that later, where he's just basically grabbed anyone. But could you grab anyone and then chuck them on a pay-per-view element? Do you know what I mean? So you needed somewhat of a name to stay on there, and they haven't been able to get it, which is a shame. I would like to have seen Bakole versus Hughie Fury. I would like to have seen that. They are talking about Bakole. I think Billy Nelson said that they're talking about Bakole being on a Matchroom card in September. So that gives everyone enough time, maybe. Is that not really, actually? 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know what kind of shape Hughie Fury's in. But it gives some time for them to get Bakole a decent name. Yeah, but Bakole must be disappointed. I do wonder. I mean, obviously, he's on a Matchroom card in September, so that is okay for him. But if he wasn't on a Matchroom card, do you get, like, any money? Like, do you get something? Serious question, right? I mean, he probably was going to get 6 figures. Did he get any of that? It's not his fault. He's done everything. He's ticked all his boxes. I'm sure he's in good shape. He's been sparring, right? I think we've seen him, show images of him sparring Joe Joyce. So he's, this is probably the best Bakole we're going to see. Now nothing. And not only that, he was going to fight Kuzmin, who's a top 25 guy. It would have been a good win that puts him in that top 20 mix. And now that's all done. Surely he gets some money. I know some of these fighters get advanced by Matchroom and Eddie Hearn just so they can pay for their sparring and all their preparation, the lead up to the fights. But I do wonder, maybe he just gets that advance and doesn't have to pay it back or something. I don't know. Talking about Hughie Fury, Dave Allen Zoomed with Kugan Cassius and spoke about the Hughie Fury fight. Obviously, that's a fight that was supposed to be, or we wanted it to be on this card, and that would have been a very nice card if it was on it. He said that he was offered the fight, I think he said about 6-7 weeks ago, but the money wasn't great. He was offered a Dubois fight for nearly 3 times the amount of money he was offered the Hughie Fury fight, and he was assuming that the Hughie Fury money was going to be something similar. Not exactly the same because obviously COVID, but something similar. So Thomas Stalker, you guys probably know Thomas Stalker from a fight and now works at MTK, sort of phoned him 3 weeks later and said, okay, the fight's off. So they couldn't basically get him the money he wanted to fight Hughie Fury. And I say that story because people will hear a different version, and the different version will make it look like Dave Allen's ducked Hughie Fury, right? Isn't that fighters want to get paid? Pay me. Dave Allen's probably taken some ridiculously tough fights for pennies. I mean, we always forget that Dave Allen has fought Tony Yoka, Dillian White, and Luis Ortiz. I mean, I bet he didn't get paid big bucks for that. So I think the days of him accepting a fight just because of peer pressure from fans is over. You got to pay him. You got to pay him. And if he knows he's worth, pay him he's worth. It's a big fight. Dave Allen, Hughie Fury, people might laugh about that. It's a big fight on a pay-per-view card. Obviously not headlining, but sort of stuck in the middle somewhere. It's a very odd. You'd like it. I'd like it as well. He was also supposed to spar Povetkin in the lead up to Povetkin versus Dillian White. That's not happening as well. So he's basically said he's not actually had a spar. He's not done anything for nearly a year, which is crazy. He looks in good shape though. He looks in very good shape. Like his chin, I always look at his chin if it's chiseled or not to see if he's overweight. His chin looks chiseled. So Dave Allen, he might not be sparring, but he's definitely keeping in shape. But yeah, so that's the latest update with regards to fight camp. What do you guys make of that? I know Eddie Hearn's trying to add a couple more fights. I believe he has had a couple. He's going to add Fabio Wardley. He's added one I saw recently, but I don't know, man. But then again, I don't know how many people were going to pay pay-per-view to watch Kuzman Bakole, right? I mean, you're paying pay-per-view, I guess, to watch Dillian White, Povetkin, Katie Taylor Pursoon, but you also want a bit more. Clay Congo's there, but I just wanted a bit more. And imagine if it was Kuzman, Bakole, Fury, Allen. That's decent. I think that's very decent. But it's clearly not that anymore. All right, what else we want to talk about? FROCH wonders if Mike Tyson might lose the plot in Jones' fight. I'm with you, Carl. I'm with you. And whoever doesn't believe that's possible, then can't help you. But I do wonder if the red mist... There are some people, I believe, we all know, everyone's got someone that they know, friend or family member, that you know when the red mist descends, it descends. I've got that person in my family. And I'm telling you now, like, Mike Tyson is that human being, right? He's that guy. Once the red mist descends, the red mist descends. And boy, good luck to the ref trying to control Mike. Especially if Roy Jones cracks him with a left. That's a good left. That hurts Tyson. Oh, God. Peter Fury. In his next fight, people will see that Hughie Fury has arrived. I feel like I've heard that line a lot recently with Fury, especially in his last like 5 or 6 fights. I feel like that's the same line all the time. I don't know, man. I don't know. I will say this again, and I've said it before on this channel. His 3 losses are to Povetkin, Pulev, Joseph Parker. Unbeaten Joseph Parker. Povetkin, who at the time had lost a couple, Klitschko, Joshua, and Pulev had lost to Klitschko. That's who he's been beaten by. So sometimes I think we've got to look at it from a bigger lens. Like, he's not been beaten by scrubs. But this is the problem. He very similar to Tyson, you know. He will go there and fight the top guys. Then it's really low down after. So I want to see him, and I've said this about him a lot. Top 25 guy, which is why I just mentioned Bakole. It's a good matchup, right? Let me know where you are, Hughie. You're clearly not elite. And that's not me bashing him, but again, we've seen him in against 3, you would say, elite guys, right? Some people might even question whether Joseph Parker was elite back then. But we've seen him with 3 top 15 guys. He's clearly not that, right? Even though the Joseph Parker fight was close, I didn't really think it was, if I'm honest with you. But he's not that, so let's push it a bit further. What they do is they say he's clearly not elite, then they go top 50. It's crazy. Like, let's quickly look at Hughie Fury's record very quickly, because time is of the essence, because I do want to go to the gymnasium. All right, so he always does this. So got beat by Joseph Parker, fought Sam Sexton. Really and truly, let's be honest, Sam Sexton's not it's not a top, wasn't even back then a top 40, top 50 guy. So he beat Sam Sexton, which was decent performance as well, knocked Sam Sexton out. Then you had the Pulev fight, you lost that. His next 2 fights were Chris Norrad, Samuel Peters. Do you get where I'm going here? Then he fought Povetkin. Next fight, Pavel Sawyer. By the way, Chris Norred was that guy that was a bouncer from Canada. Not digging. You know, the thing people think I dig. I don't. I just try and state the facts. That's it. All right. What else we got here? Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Mario Cesares is in play for September 25th. I can't believe he's fighting. We're going to move on from that. REGIS PROGRAIS, DeBella Entertainment in process of finalizing separation agreement. That's interesting. I know they had one fight left because I remember hearing about it in the lead up to try and get this Morris Hooker fight. They had one fight left with each other, and PROGRAIS talked about maybe not re-upping with DeBella. I like how it seems like it's amicable. There's no one's trying to take anyone to court. No one's going, it's not crazy, right? It's just separation agreement. That's it. We're just parting our ways. We've done good business. They did do good business with each other. Got to the World Boxing Super Series final, made some money. I like how it's just nice. Because Lou DeBella comes across like that, like a no-nonsense, straight-up guy. Could be wrong. I've only spoken to him a couple of times. Don't know him like that. But when I've spoken to him, seems like a great dude. It's going to be interesting where Regis goes. If he wants to stay at 140, then I guess you look at top rank, right? Look at top rank just because Josh Taylor and Ramirez, especially if you want the Josh Taylor rematch. If 147, then I guess you only got to go to PBC. You've got to go. You can't do a Terence Crawford. You've got to go to PBC. You have to. So those to me are the only two options. I don't think Matchroom's an option. Matchroom could possibly get you fights at 140. We've seen they've done business with Top Rank. So it might just be a case of who offers the most money. But if he's serious about trying to make a run and get in the mix at 147, then you've just simply, no doubt, got to sign with PBC. No doubt. He's even been speaking about a Broner matchup. Then, you know, again, that's where your body's got to lie, basically. You've got to go there. I don't know where I see PROGRAIS. I don't know. He's a good fighter. There's no doubt he's a good fighter. I don't know if he's an elite fighter. Some people might think that's a bit harsh. I'm just being honest. I don't know if he's an elite fighter. He's a good fighter. Good fight against Josh Taylor, right? I mean, very close fight. If he put the pedal to the metal, as they say, could have got the win. Could have got the win. Very close fight. I don't know if he's elite. I think he's good. And I think against some of these guys at 147, if that's where he wants to go to beat some of the top guys, even some of the guys coming up, he might have to be elite. Not sure. Not sure. All right, what's we got? Carl Frampton. Okay, it was announced yesterday that he's fighting Darren TRAYNOR. Let's have a quick look at this Darren TRAYNOR's record. His original opponent couldn't get in the country because of visa issues. So he did say that MTK had been paying a couple of guys to train, just to stay in shape. Plus, I think the fight's at lightweight, which that's TRAYNOR's weight, I believe. Let's have a quick look at his record. This TRAYNOR is 16-3. Of the 3 losses, 2 knockouts. He's coming off a win against Des Newton. Before that, lost to Julie Giner, who's 22-3. A couple other names he's lost to that we might know. James Tennyson and Ryan Walsh. So we kind of know where he is. To be fair, his record, it's toss in the air to be honest, but his record looks better than the guy they were originally going to get, if I'm honest with you. And the fact he's at lightweight, I mean, a natural lightweight as well, it might be a better opponent. I hope that what Carl Frampton says was true, that they have been paying him to train, so he does come in some sort of shape. Because I would like Carl Frampton to get a few rounds. You don't want this to be a 2-round blowout. You like it to go 5 or 6 at least. But I'm just happy that they got Carl another opponent. You don't want Carl to keep sitting out, especially not at this age. You want to fight. So well done to MTK by having. If it's true that they had paid some guys to train, that's good management. Very good management. Especially in this current climate of fighters not being able to travel and, you know, all that kind of stuff. You'd hope that Matchroom would have done that with Bakole Kuzman, like had someone, just someone there waiting in the wings. wings, sorry. All right, what have we got here? Ludabella also talks here about Serrano Taylor, saying it's revivable, but I doubt within the next 18 months or so. Yeah, just because, again, they are looking at Taylor versus Cecilia BRAEKHUS. Obviously, Cecilia BRAEKHUS has got McCaskill this weekend. I think it is in Tulsa. If she gets past that, Taylor gets past that, they're trying to do a 140 matchup, which will be, without doubt, the biggest female fight of all time. Without doubt. I'm trying to think what comes close to that. Can't think. I think the only thing that would eclipse that would be if there was a lot of talk about Cecilia BRAEKHUS going to 154 or even 152 and Clarissa Shields coming down, and obviously that would eclipse it. But yeah, Taylor versus Cecilia BRAEKHUS. So that's why he's said 18 months, just because he knows the schedule of what is planned. Sean Porter here, quick line, says, if Spence isn't the same as when we fought, Garcia very well could win. Agreed. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully there is some sort of behind the scenes stuff, like a 24/7 type show. That'll be good. I think I saw something else here. 2 seconds, people. I'm going to quickly jump on. I saw something. I don't know if it was Michael Benson's Twitter or Mike Coppinger's Twitter. It might have been neither of those, to be fair. I've noticed with Mike Coppinger that he tweets a lot of things like my source. But then there's a few boxing pages like guys that are hardcore boxing, and they tweet them before Mike does, you know. Way before Mike does. I'm talking a few hours, and it's almost word for word the same tweets. Just saying. So I look at him as the guy that has everything. Don't know why I done that. But sometimes he's just copy and pasting. All right. Not saying he doesn't know his shit. He clearly knows his shit, right? He's clearly got the hookups. But no, I always look at him as the source. But then, don't know if he is that. All right, I think that's it. That is a short and sweet video, if that is it. That is it. Shit, that is it. Apologies, people. That's it. Peace.